Johnny was hitting me, and he was hitting me hard and repeatedly.
Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
This is going to be one of those big trials to watch.
You have these big celebrities that are going to be testifying.
Their reputations are at stake.
Johnny Depp was not successful across the pond, but he's got a second bite of the apple, this time in the United States.
Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Live coverage starting Monday morning at 9/8 Central on Court TV.
We are just days away, folks, from the start of Johnny Depp's defamation trial in Fairfax, Virginia. The actor is suing his ex-wife, Amber Heard, for $50 million over an op-ed that she wrote for the Washington Post in 2018. Depp claims the op-ed falsely implies he abused her. Depp even claims it was Amber who was physically violent with him on occasion, which came up in a 2016 deposition.
One time, Johnny was hitting me, and he was hitting me hard and repeatedly, and I was screaming. Security walks in, and they don't do anything about it. And he makes this motion when Jerry Judge yells boss, or Sean, I can't remember who it was, and all we had was a little bit of separation, and my sister runs down the stairs. We're on a landing in between two flights of stairs.
Ms. Heard, I must interrupt you because I've asked you a yes or no question.
Withdraw your question then, because
Ms.
she's
Heard,
answering.
prior to today's date, have you ever hit Johnny Depp?
Answer however you wish. You've already asked, and she's already answered, and you interrupted her.
Ms. Heard, have you ever hit Johnny Depp prior to today?
Objection, Vegas to time.
Everyone on this side of the room, please.
Objection 352. It's not relevant to the domestic violence proceeding.
Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Answer it however you want to, including the way you were just...
I'm asking for a yes or no answer.
You don't have to answer it the way she wants you to answer it.
He was about to push my sister down the stairs. She was attempting to break us up. I am protective over my baby sister. When he laid hands on her, I don't know what I did, but I know I jumped in between the actions that I saw could lead to a fatal injury to my sister. She was standing on the top of a flight of stairs, and she has never hurt anyone in her life, and she does not deserve to be pushed down the flight of stairs. And it looked like she was about to be. And I would have done what anybody who has a child or a sister would have done. I acted defensively in her life. I saw her standing on top of a flight of stairs and trying to interrupt a fight in between him and I. I don't know what part of my body I put in between me and him and her. But I would have done anything. I would have done anything to prevent her from being pushed down a flight of stairs.
Amber Heard filed a countersuit claiming Johnny Depp defamed her by calling her a liar and a hoaxer. And in the countersuit, Heard's attorneys cite specific text messages allegedly sent by Johnny Depp to friends that indicate his intentions to ruin her career, harm her, and kill her. Let's take a look at a couple of them. In 2013, Mr. Depp texted his friend, actor Paul Bettany, the following: "Let's burn Amber. Let's drown her before we burn her. I will blank her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure that she is dead." And in 2016, Mr. Depp texts to his friend Christian Carino, "She's begging for total global humiliation." Depp goes on to call Amber a number of vulgar names before finishing the message with, "I wouldn't touch her with a blank glove. I can only hope that karma kicks in and takes the gift of breath away from her. Sorry, man, but now I will stop at nothing." Heard's attorneys write, this is only the tip of the iceberg, reflecting Mr. Depp's misogyny, deep anger, and hatred of Ms. Heard, and his attendant justification in his mind of his violence and abuse towards Ms. Heard. All right, let's bring in the think tank to discuss this. Still with me, Eklund Mercy, Nima Rahmani, and Kirk Nurmi. All right, Nima, I want to start with you. Those were just a smattering of the text. There are plenty of them. They get ugly. I believe they definitely show misogyny, hatred. I mean, it's pretty nasty. Your thoughts on these texts and what effect they may have on the trial?
Yeah, the texts are key. I mean, that deposition testimony, wow. I mean, you're talking to a former prosecutor who's now a civil plaintiff's attorney. And it was so nasty that they actually had to bring a special master, a referee, to handle that deposition because even the attorneys can't get along. Now, Johnny Depp's already lost his defamation suit in England. The standard is much easier for plaintiffs over there. That's why these defamation attorneys file there. Now he's here in the United States. We have First Amendment protections. The burden is on him now to prove the statements were false. Whereas the burden's on the defendant over there in Europe. So you're talking about someone who's either getting bad legal advice or throwing good money after bad. Maybe he's trying to resurrect his acting career somehow. But I predict it's going to end terribly for him, and he's going to lose this case, Michael.
You know, Kirk, the thing about text messages is, you know, and we've all been there, somebody will text you something. It's all about context, right? And as a friend once told me, you can't impart tone on a text, you know, but texts they're a part of life now. It's how we communicate. They're going to be a part of these trials. We've seen it time and time again. Your take on text and how you deal with some of the texts that we've seen here and even worse.
Well, you know, I think you're right when we talk about these text messages. Context is going to be key in framing any case. If any party is going to emerge victorious here, they're going to have to provide context for the things they said, because I don't really think that either party is going to come out looking great in this situation. So, you know, it's going to be salacious. But that's going to be the problem for both parties as well, because the salacious nature might just do away with all the context that surrounds it. And what a jury's going to make of all this grade school level fighting with adult words is going to be very interesting, because that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about a grade school cafeteria food fight that's going to play out in a courtroom.
Yeah, but you know, this thing got really ugly. It got pretty serious, at least according to the allegations. Eklund, you saw that deposition. You saw the woman there, and there are accusations that she was also involved in domestic violence both ways in a previous relationship. Johnny Depp has a tough job, but she also has a countersuit. Do you think she has the horses to win her suit? The fact that obviously she's a liar and a hoaxer, she has to show she wasn't a liar and a hoaxer, because that's what she's claiming Johnny Depp is calling her. So what do you think about that?
I actually think that her text messages, the text messages actually hurt her case. To say that the text messages between friends. Now, here's the thing. It's so funny. I think John Mulaney has a joke about this. It's so funny. The worst text messages I've ever seen haven't been on my criminal cases, the murder cases, the aggravated assault cases. It's actually been the civil cases, the divorces, because what they say about each other and what they say about people that they don't like with friends is just, it's crazy, but it's cathartic at the same time. So I think with this case, it's all about jury selection, 100%. People who are familiar with divorces, people who are familiar with like nasty child custody cases. That's the type of jury that you want, because they'll be able to sift through all the dust and actually see the case for what it is.
That's a great point, and that's exactly what you're going to have to get across to them. The idea that when you're texting these things, they're not really something that you actually mean. You're talking to a friend, and that's what I mean by context, et cetera, et cetera. I think any of us would be horrified if people were going to take a look at some of the texts that we send to our friends in various circumstances. The thing, Nima, that I wanted to check in with you is, you know, he's suggesting that she was doing this just to further her career. And again, this was brought, and this whole thing came up during the Me Too movement. It was a big thing back then. But that's one area where I think it's pretty weak. It doesn't seem to me that that holds water. She would do all this and put herself through all this just to further her career. I would think there would be better ways to do that.
I agree, Michael. And look, she's not the one that initiated any of this in terms of the violence, at least according to her. But from a legal perspective, she didn't sue him. Even the counterclaims here were because he filed against her here in the United States. And the op-ed that she published, she tried to do so anonymously there in New York. So this wasn't someone who was going out there and trying to get a lot of attention about her being the victim of domestic violence. So I don't think that's a good argument. And again, I see a case where Johnny Depp, even though he's the civil plaintiff, he's going to be on the defense, and it's not going to end well for him.
Yeah, I think I might have to agree with you there. All right, guys, stand by. Quick reminder, Court TV cameras will be inside the courtroom for this trial, which is set to begin next Monday, coming up April 11th. And lead anchor Vinny Politan will be live in Virginia next week as this trial gets underway. Right now, folks, we do have to squeeze in a break, but when we come back, it'll be time to hear from you, our 13th juror. Keep it right here on Court TV.